Why, hello there. Let's double check all the things real quick. That seems all right. Are you all right? You seem all right. Excellent. Okay. Ooh, I forgot to turn that off. Hang on. There we go. It's already getting warm. Does not bode well for the temperatures of today. It's going to get warm in here in a minute. Okay, but that's okay. Are you good? I'm sure you're good. Yeah. All right, we're ready to rock. So, we were getting this stuff squared away. We need to handle diagonals, getting them to output the icons in a more descriptive way, I guess you might say. An easier to read way. Okay, we need you. Get out of here for me. We'll get this open. And that can go away for now. We'll leave that for now. You. There we go. All right. So, here we go. That is still very warm. We have two of these here fellas. And actually, hang on one second. I think that's all right. I don't think that's changed. Seems like I might be just a little low on the volume, just looking at the outputs here. And I'm not sure why. Let me double check. What if we did just a little boost there? I'm still lower than I want to be. Let me double check the output. It may be that I'm just seeing funky stuff, but it's not bad. I mean, seems okay. Maybe just a little bit low still. Let me adjust that a little bit more. Let's do like one more of them. We'll run with that and see how it goes. Hey, Duvakine, how's it going? How many folks ended up on the IRC? I haven't been on since the night you posted it in Discord. Just you so far. But I don't expect it to grow hugely fast. It's pretty niche. It was a fun afternoon project for sure. And maybe we'll end up with some cool folks in there eventually. But, like, Discord is still the norm for just, like, people in general. Since you're here, how is my audio? It might be a little low on my side. I'm trying to figure that out. But yeah. All right, so this also might be part of it. Just a little adjust. So we got two different angles, and we can't just return. So we might, and we could. Sounds good to me. Okay, excellent. We could try to extract this into a more generic function, but I'm resistant to that idea because it's very clear how things work right now. We need to have update icons. Well, we don't actually technically. It would be nice if they all had the same stuff, though. And I don't actually know if I'm allowed to specify private things. Maybe, maybe not. There's no override. Yeah, okay. I kind of thought that might be the case. Honestly, the IRC was a fun rabbit hole for me as well. It was originally from before my time, and I got to read a bunch of cool documentation. Yeah, it was kind of like there was still a lot of it in my time, but it was kind of the old answer. Like I had, I think, MIRC, and I used it a little bit. But like talking to strangers wasn't really a thing we did. Like I was more of like the MSN and the AIM and the Yahoo, because you know you had friends that used one over the other or only used one, so you had to have them all, and everybody ended up having them all because same reason, right? And then we had rad stuff like Trillion, and you could skin your client and do all kinds of cool stuff, and it was a fun time. But like MSN's dead, you know, that it zombied on as a live messenger in a horrible uh travesty of what it was. And that's not really like a community tool anyway, right? So, or it wasn't a community tool. But there is something delightfully charming about the simplicity of IRC. All right. I think what we're going to do is to help us in the future as we're looking at these. We're going to try to keep it as samey same as possible with the other guys. MSN with the MySpace, yeah. Like, chat things have come and gone, you know, and Discord's just the latest iteration. You know, we had MSN and all that, and that kind of fell out of use, out of vogue, I guess. And then we had like Xfire, and then Xfire got sold to some company or another, and it kind of MySpaced itself as well, right? Um, I don't know who bought them, if they were like, you know, some horrible fund or whatever. Um, but everybody kind of abandoned that, and then we didn't really have anything. We had, hang on, this thing keeps cycling. It's annoying. We had you know, like Ventrilo and TeamSpeak and stuff like that for voice comms. I don't think we had a chat program kind of like in between Xfire and Discord, and then Discord just kind of took over the world. I guess we kind of had what was it? There was, I don't remember the name of it now. There was like a platform that it would manage mods for a lot of different games. It kind of, it was the Discord. It lived in between like a mod manager and a chat and a social sort of thing. I can't remember the name. Curse? Was it Curse? Something like that anyway. But I never really used it. I think like once. Somebody wanted to do it and I was not like it didn't speak to me. So anyway, I like designing murder mysteries, and I do think an IRC would be a fascinating addition. Like some kind of a social game, or there are like role playing functionalities within. Used to use CurseForge. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's CurseForge as a mod manager. Yeah. We had something else too. Like back in the era of like Battlefield 1942. That was kind of like a gaming social media platform. GameSpy, maybe? That's earlier, way earlier. But like that sort of space has kind of been in a, it hasn't really calcified. And now there's actually Gilded? Yeah. Which is kind of lost. Oh, I guess they're no longer available. They're a Roblox only thing now, it seems. They were around for a while, and I think Discord just kind of ate them. They didn't have anything compelling enough, but I thought it was like a platform to help manage your game guilds and all that good stuff. We can do this and just make update icons a wrapper, more or less. The reason is because we need to do this twice. I guess we could maybe extract this. By murder mysteries, I mean detective games. Give the players a case and a ton of evidence, red herrings or otherwise, and they get to figure it out. I used to love fake blogs or websites as a venue. Okay. For giving clues and info, I think an IRC could be a great alternative. The vibes are impeccable. Excellent. Almost like a ARG type thing. I associate that kind of thing with like ARGs, but also like the hacking puzzle sites that have existed for a long time, which kind of lean in the ARG direction, or have in the past. I've heard about them. I never really got into that world. Yeah, especially excellent. Yeah, that could definitely be. The problem is essentially okay. The problem is IRC by default doesn't store messages. The server I'm using has the ability to long-term store, so I guess you could set that up. I didn't turn any of that on. I'm not interested in storing crap. It's supposed to be ephemeral, so. Like, it stores in memory a limited history for I think it's like a week. And then they go away. Or, I mean, it's in memory, so if the server gets rebooted for any reason, it would also go away. It's just fine by me. Like, it's just it's not a, it's not trying to be like a forum replacement like Discord is, you know? It's just chat. If we're gonna pull this out, though, if we did like 2 nullable strings, can I return 2 strings in Dart? Is that a, can I return 2 values? Where are you? I don't know if this is allowed. I used to really love these ones by Hunt a Killer, but the company got bought. Now their stuff sucks. Many such cases. That's it's one of the things that has been on my mind a lot lately, as things that just annoy the hell out of me about the modern world, right? In Dart 3.0, records can be used. I can return an array. Okay, yeah, I can do this. Right. But we still have to figure out what we're doing. Unless we just call you resolve paths. We don't need any, well, we do need arguments. We need our first connection, which is a connection data. And maybe we can lift this up into our base class. Just because it makes no sense to do this any other way, I don't think. Yeah. Well, let's leave you public because we're probably going to pull you up. But then we can do first connection and this one, second connection. This becomes, if you're the same map connection, or rather if you're, or yeah, same map connection, first icon path is east icon. Let's see, it's going to be the problem with this, abstracting this. How would we tell it? Which of these? I guess we can say... No, we can't say that because we want to switch on the path here. We could maybe... give it in order. See, this becomes hard to read in the future. Doing this in a way that's clean and sane is tricky. It's an easy task, but this would be... I think we can drive it off of a bool if we have to. That becomes messy too. I think, as much as I don't like repeating this, I think it's the sanest, most readable answer. Resolve, what do we want to call you? Because you're the northwest southeast. Maybe we just do that. And then we can say, if we should display northwest icon, let's actually do, let's do it. If the southeast connection should display and the northwest connection should not display, then if our southeast connection is not on the same map, then our northwest, not northwest, top left icon path will be, if it's on the same map, it's, this will be the southeast icon. And otherwise, redream to hydrate. Well, I got a coffee to hydrate with. Is that okay? Hopefully that's sufficient. Still water, right? It's mostly water. Top left. Okay, otherwise, if it's the map icon, our top left icon path is going to be a map icon, right? Okay. And then we're done with this diagonal here, which is why we're breaking this up, even though it's going to be kind of repeaty. It's just going to be easier to read and work with. Now we need to check the other way around. If northwest connection should display and southeast connection should not display. Oops. Then we'll replace, or return rather, our bottom, or actually we do have to check this. If the northwest connection is on the same map, then it is bottom right icon path is northwest icon. No. Wait. Yeah. That's correct. Otherwise, our bottom right icon path is the map icon if it's a cross map connection. All right. And then if that happens, we're done there as well. In the other hand, if... let's do this in the same order. If we should display both of these, then they can't be a cross map, right? That seems... because we're going to say that you're not allowed to do anything weird there. If it's a map boundary, we leave you... you have to be there. You're not allowed to have a same map on the back side of that, right? So that was clear as mud. I know what I'm talking about. Southwest icon, but this is, that's not right. So bottom right icon path is southeast icon. And top left icon is northwest icon. All right, there we go. Now we just need to basically take the same exact thing and flip it on its head for northeast southwest. Like so. This can be northeast southwest. Northeast, northeast, like so, southwest, northeast, southwest. Oh, I gotta change these guys too. This is the top right icon now. We'll spell right correctly just for fun, you know. Okay, so then we have southwest and northeast. Southwest is the same map. Bottom left. I'll have to change these two, dang it. Okay. This needs to be... wait. I already changed you. Okay. Northeast. Southwest. And then this is... southwest is bottom left. That's correct. Okay. And then... that's northeast. That's southwest. Making bottom left icon path southwest icon. And the top right north East icon. Okay. It's a lot of cardinal directions, and I'm sure that I've gotten myself all kinds of confused. But we're going to call both of those now. And then let's run this and see if I've totally screwed up. Bop, 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 bop. Map editor. We need to go into the gym because it'll actually have some things. Okay, so far so good. Now, if I was to take away, will you do this one? Southeast. I should get. Nope, I've messed it up, and I'm also no longer like centered in my box, so something's gone wrong there. Let's reset this and go look. Okay, so that would be, well, hang on. Let me just plunk you in here really quick. Okay. It's not ideal. Oh, because, duh, never mind. I'm just dumb. We can test it here, that's fine. So this one's correct, other than not being in the right place. We need to adjust our layout in the tile. Let me reset you. And if I was to take out northeast, that would be not correct as well. Okay. So we've got the northeast to southwest diagonal here. Northeast, top right should be the northeast icon. Actually, hang on. I wonder if that's just because I didn't lay out the box correctly. We need to look at the widget itself, I think, to know for sure. What if the code is right, but the UI is wrong? Ah, it is. Okay. And that's just a flaw in the way we've set this up. Okay, so we need to fix that really quick too. Let's I don't want to move you. I just hesitated because I realized I wanted to undo that. There we go. Okay. Horizontal tile model. Not tile models. For one, diagonal, but also diagonal connection tiles. What we want. Here we go. Why does this chat box? They've got a scrolling banner now, and it moves in the corner of my eye. It's driving me insane. So it's because when we do this sized box, we did a max width. That should still be okay though, because our constraints. In axis alignment center, we have a row. What contains sized box. The width is always the same. The height is the problem. Oops. So we divide by 3.5 for that. This should be just height divided by 2, right? And the same should be true for you. It's because we added a little bit of extra spacing, I think, is part of my problem. Let's see how we go if we just make you have heights. Okay, we overflow. But might have to fix this a little bit better. We put you in a column. And I don't think I can do an expanded here because it's going to tell me invalid use of parent widget, because that container I don't think is allowed. Let's reset you. It's still saying it's overflowing. Let me restart this just to be sure. Not anymore, you're not. I'm not even on that page. Take that, Flutter. Okay, yeah, I'm still overflowing. Mouse region, drag target, layout builder. Container. It's interesting it's not telling me that this is no good. Which means that the column must already be at its maximum. We must have padding. Padding and stuff. So we're doing a quarter in the width. Rough, or, sorry, no, less than a half. It's like a third. Minus, or a plus a little. Which makes sense in a world where you want to have a little bit of space in between. That's why. Okay. And we let the middle make up the difference. Let's just try 1.5 and see where that gets us. Don't think... Let's make sure this is fresh and new. No, it's still overflowing by 57 pixels. Interesting. Is this just flawed from the get-go? Here, hang on. Is it engine open source? No, it is not. So we have a container. And we give it our max width and height. We do a column. Tell you to be your max height. We line you on the center. I think we were doing that so that it laid out nicely, but I don't think I want to do that. You should just fill this space naturally, because your children should consume all of it. We can maybe help to ensure that by expanding you if we don't set the sizes. Now you're still going to get pushed out, but that's okay for a second here. Let's take these out really quick. I want this to be easier to work with. Okay. So there we are, and now we are a little bit off center, but not overflowing anymore, despite what this annoying thing wants to say. Um, I want to pull out these boxes. I want probably just a widget in this box. It's the only place it'll be relevant. Yeah, I think. Shut up, you're not overflowing anymore. Stop complaining. You're gonna extend stateless widget. I'm gonna stop this because it's driving me insane. You need a super key. We're gonna return a size box. You're not even running anymore. Like, what is your major malfunction? It's like messages get stuck. It's really, really annoying. You're a const because you're stateless. That's fine. I want to pass you, and I believe these are... Seriously? Hang on. Hang on. That's driving me up the wall. Would you like to restart now? Hello? I feel like the experience of using JetBrains products has been degrading lately. It makes me not happy. I'm going to give you, you're a double. I'm just going to give you these as arguments directly instead of doing a layout builder here. I think. Double max height, double max width. Maybe this should be parent. True. The experience of using degrading. What is your... Oh, you can't be const now because I forgot that we need to do this. That's fine. I used to use Writer for work, but I've somehow been better served by VS Code recently. Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's never been a perfect product, ever. Nothing ever is. But I feel like lately I've been running into just crap a lot more. Makes me very unhappy. All software is grading lately? Yes. They're just laggy, slow, and bloated right now. I don't think I've noticed a lot of lag or slowdown. But bugs like that, where that thing kept, like, it wasn't even running and I was still getting annoying messages in my console. Like, that's just bizarre. And then I closed it and restarted. I had to start it twice because I don't know if I would have to look at logs to see if it crashed or what. Or if it wasn't done shutting down because whatever pipe was feeding it that, like, constant stream of errors. I don't know. Just annoying. And, like, not a thing I want to spend my time on. Everything has 5 frameworks behind it, not surprised. I mean, there's that. Okay, so we have our parent height and our parent width now. These are just spacing, but we do kind of need them. These guys here is what's going to come down this way. But we'll have to massage them into shape a little bit. And we'll have to think. Okay, so we want... If we can simplify this down a little bit, it might be nicer. And someone told Jerbrains, Jerbrains, that they should hide all options behind 8 menus. So, if you come up here to the find action, you can find actions. I exclusively use this now because everything is in 8 menus. Like, there, you can go into the settings, and I gotta be careful because sometimes that shows my subscription details, which I don't want to do. But, yeah, like, and I can never remember where they put crap. And I wind up using the search box in the settings box anyway. So now I'm just like, you know what? Find action. And I believe... Yeah, you can just do it in the double search, or the double shift search box. Okay, so to keep this the same as a first step here, and then we don't have access to widget in here, obviously. We would need... Let's just make this... an optional widget that is just a child. We'll keep it fluttery. And here... I don't need braces. I need ternary. I think I can actually just do... because this should be a nullable widget to begin with. I can just do that. Yeah. There we go. And then this gets way simpler to deal with. It used to be able to click one button to do 90% of what I need to do. No longer. That's a good trick, though. Yeah. You got to deal with the tools you have or switch tools, and that sucks too, you know? So that's the best I've found so far. But, like, they need to get on the ball, really, if they want me to keep paying for their software. And they need to stop cramming more AI shit in here. Like, I have to go turn off 100 things now. The last update, it's like, hey, this extension can't run because it needs local LLM integration. I'm like, no, I fucking turned that off because I don't want this shit. I don't want this shit either. Like, they need to wake up, or else I'm going to have to find something else. And I really don't want it to be NeoVim. Like, I understand that people love NeoVim. It's fine. It's a great text editor. It's not what I want out of an IDE. It doesn't fundamentally do the workflow I want to do. And now, some of you are going to say, well, you could make your own. That's where your brain's going to go. I know this because that's where my brain immediately just tries to helpfully serve that up. That way lies madness. I don't want to write an IDE at all. Because there's no money in writing IDEs. The thing that developers... thing about developers is that they value their time at 0. So nobody would want it. Nobody would pay for it. And I have other projects I want to do that nobody's going to pay for. What used to make JetBrains product good, I never used any. I liked the way that they worked out of the box for the most part. Like, minor tweaks got me everything I wanted. It was a nice experience to use, and it's purely personal preference. Like, a lot of people love VS Code, and if that's your jam, then awesome, do it. You know? So yeah, it was just, I liked the way that they operated. Don't say that. I wanted to say that. Exactly, right? That's where your brain goes when you're an engineer or a software developer or anybody. Like, you have that I could do better sort of thought immediately. Weirdly, I really like switching tools, but AI integration is getting a bit much. Yeah. Been trying to learn Vim motions. They make me feel very cool. Yeah, they do make you feel cool. I really like multi-cursor editing, though. If I hold the right button. Like, I love being able to do this. That's very nice. If there are two things that are, like, one after the other, like right here, like, it gets easier because you can just do that. But also if they're, like, spread out, you can just, I want to change this one, and 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 then they all do the thing. Love that. And tabs. Tabs are great. Love tabs. Doesn't work the same way in NeoVim. Like, I'm all over the place in my projects. You could use some pre-built NeoVim distro. Why would I want to do that? I have, I have all this stuff that I could use if I liked the way this stuff worked just fine, right? I can go in, let's see, we're in lib, and we're in, oh, this is the client. I'm sorry, I'm an editor. That's why I'm confused. So we can go in here, and we can even see the things like that I'm messing with right now, and we can play with all this stuff. And I've got Harpoon, I've got all this other crap that I just, like, I could use. It's ready if I have to, but it doesn't replicate the workflow that I want. And getting all that set up was a pain in the dick. Like, that, and the reason I did it was because of all this stuff. Favorite Vim thing is search replace. It works like multi-cursor, but it's real quick. So I mean, I can do, you know, I do regex search replacements all the time. If I wanted to do that, you know, and that is already fraught. Like, any automated replacement is super fraught. And so for me, the multi-cursor lives in the realm of, okay, I want to be sure that I'm only editing these three things. Other things might look the same but be correct still. I don't want to change that. But here I can say, cool, you're all now maxed with 20, right? Piece of cake. And nobody else got changed. There we go. When I started in Vim, I used my Christmas break hacking it and learning and suffered for a month. Yeah, suffering for a month is too real. Yeah, right. And that's, I mean, like, that's the next hurdle, right? Is I don't want to pay that tool switch learning curve cost, like, to learn the new tool. And honestly, like, I don't like the NeoVim community. At large, not the people making stuff. The people making the stuff, cool, awesome, love those guys. They're making life way easier, but it's still hard to use, right? And you go looking, I've complained about this before, but you go looking for, how do I do multi-tab editing in NeoVim, right? That's my workflow in this IDE. That's what I want to do here. And you get some fucking Reddit brain cocksucker that comes in there and is like, well, you just need to train your brain to think in NeoVim terms. They're buffers. Okay, yeah, I get they're fucking buffers. The tab can be a buffer too. Fuck off. That's not the question I asked. You know? Like, if the answer is this software fundamentally does not work that way, then tell me that answer. Don't tell me I need to train my brain to think in NeoVim. You prick. At the time, I was coding for so little time that learning Lua, a new tool, was too much. I mean, yeah, that's super real. Even if you're coding a lot, like, you're going to spend more time fighting the tool to get to where you are familiar with it than doing the project you want to do if you switch, if it's too different. And, like, there were some promising looking editors coming out, like, 5 years ago that just weren't ready yet to really be used, or they didn't support Linux yet. But I think all of them went down the AI slop rabbit hole, so that's the problem with the Linux community as well. People are too pretentious. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I switched from Kitty to Alacrity, is because I had a Tmux issue. Turned out it was a skill issue, but while I was trying to understand the problem and fix it, there was the guy that wrote it saying, don't use Tmux, use Kitty. I'm like, but this is a really standard tool, and I actually have things in there that I like, that I want to use. And, like, the answer wasn't, I don't support this. It wasn't, I don't know, sorry, I don't use it. It was, you shouldn't use that tool. You should use this. Whereas Alacrity, their statement on the matter was like, hey, we're making this terminal emulator. That's really what we want to focus on. If you want to do terminal multiplexing, we think that should be another utility. You can use Tmux. That's been around for forever, or some other tools, right? I find that to be a much more compatible mindset with my outlook. Zed looks cool. I think that's one of the ones that went all slopified, but let's double check. Let's see here. Your last next editor. Okay. Yeah, Anthropic, Vercel, I think they're AI now. Yeah. Not interested in this nonsense here. I would have to go and figure out, like, if it's turn offable, but, like, there's this website says AI more than a small dog that was just kicked. Did they? Yeah, I mean, I mostly associate it with it being an AI first editor nowadays. Like, it's all over the top here. I bet you if we go look in here, we might even, yeah, Claude, Agents, Gemini. Well, it's nice that they highlight this shit now. Yeah, it's full on slopified. Zed had some good publicity when it was getting released. I didn't hear anything about Zed since. Yeah, I've only heard of it in the context of, like, falling down that rabbit hole of people like, oh, Zed is so much better with my AI. Looks so good before AI. Yeah, it was one of the promising ones. There was that, and there was another, and I don't remember the name anymore. First thing you see is Agentic. Yikes. Yeah, exactly. And, like, it's difficult to tell, like, are you just playing the marketing game, which, like, I don't particularly like it, but fair play to you, right? Or is it something that's, you know, just super baked in, and agent files in the GitHub repo are a thing that make me real disinterested in your product. Like, you better have, like, a track record of existing before the slop and maintaining your, quality. And then I will use you reluctantly if the trade-off is good enough. Because that's where I'm at with JetBrains, right? Like, I won't use it myself. I won't use AI myself, but, like, you can't just, like, the Linux kernel has slop in and out, right? So, like, yeah, you can't avoid. But I evaluate them much more critically because I know what the result is of that. So I really ask myself, do I actually need this tool? Is there a better option? Because there's lots of great software out there still that refuses. In fact, I was just looking at something yesterday. I don't remember what it was, but it was a GitHub issue, and the person was like, "Well, hey, this is a bug, and I fixed it, but I used AI, so I can't merge it. Oh darn!" And then the maintainer was like, "Cool, use it in a fork. That's perfect. Have a nice day." I was like, "All right, there is hope in the world." All right. All sidetracked and ranty. Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. Was this? Okay. Icon box. So we've got a parent width and a parent height in you. We got a child. We need to pull these guys over here into being this instead. We'll leave our sized boxes for our spacers. That's perfectly fine. And I want to probably convert this to percentages, which is a trick I have been using a lot more because I don't understand why they want to do this. Like, give me fucking percentages, Flutter. But I digress yet again. Parent height is constraints max height. Parent width is constraints. Where did you come from? That. And then child will be this whole block again. That's fine. This should get us back to exactly where we were. But with the ability, and I'm actually just going to copy pasta this right there. With the ability to control them all at the same time. I'll have to think about this as to whether that makes sense still. If you're in a box, you should theoretically be constrained by your parent, I would think, but we'll find out. Okay, sized box, and then we've got our second row here. So icon box goes in here. We replace this with that. That goes away. I can actually just probably grab this and directly do that. Okay. Good, 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 good. So if I run you, everybody should still be exactly where you were. We'll have our same issues, but we will have successfully extracted the icon box into an widget. We have troubles. Incorrect use of parent data widget. Yeah. Okay. That's what I was expecting this to say to me, but it didn't. That's confusing. Let's get that out of there. Okay. So now we're back to where we were, more or less. This is no longer centered, but that's okay. Right, with 3.5 child, except for we're going to that it's actually really good blazing fast. That doesn't matter because of all of the slop. You can turn off the AI features today. Like, that would put me right back in the same place I am with JetBrains, where the day they make it not possible to turn that crap off, I will stop paying them and I will stop using their software immediately. And that's already a thing that's why I have my whole NeoVim environment set up, is because I worry about that decision as the bubble continues to deflate and people continue to try to enshitify their services and products. Alright. Let's crack this delicious caffeinated beverage open. Okay. So we took out the like I can't go back to Visual Sea Lion or Rider after using Zed. I mean, that's fine. Use whatever tools make you happy. Like, I'm not here saying you shouldn't use it at all. In fact, I am the you should use the tools that make sense to you guy. All right, so they're not centered anymore in the column, which is fine. We don't really want them to be because we need to let the layout itself fill the space. Because otherwise we have issues when we don't have... Well, actually, maybe it's okay if we have the boxes in there still. That could be fine. Let's put them back really quick. Because our expanded gave me the error that I thought it would eventually. And that'll put them back in the center. That's totally super fine. But it won't be fine as soon as and we can actually do this. We could delete the northeast one on this one. We can delete the northwest one on this one, just to kind of give us a visual of how things are shaping up. And that, see, like, they're all wonky now. Then you will delete the southeast one. There we... Yes, that's bad. The other side of that. And then southwest here. There we go. So now we can see where things are getting laid out correctly, or, you know, in the current world. And we can change this all in one now. Let's do... So this would have been 35% width, right? That's actually slightly off. Just overflowing. Why am I overflowing in that sort of thing? That by 100 multiplied by 33, 3.5 divided by 3.5. Because that would have been more. Because we have to account for the space in the middle of that. So it's more like 30%. Because we do want a narrower spacing in the middle. That's correct. Height. Parent height, 5 by 100. We can't just do directly 50%. That'll overflow us because... Look at that guy. But if we were to do like 40%, still too much. Also 30? I don't think... That puts it about in the right spot. Where did I put my... You're not overflowing anymore. Are you going to be a pain? I guess I'm because it's a square. All right, just gonna do this. Don't show again for this project. Stop it. Do I have to specify your width in this world where we put you into a box? Oops. Or is that like old as we were laying it out and noodling through how we wanted to do this? Yeah, that's gonna work out. Can't tell if they're just like highlighted and look different. Yeah, they're about the same size. That looks right. Let me do that. That should cover all of the cases. We don't have... Yeah, that looks great. Perfect. Okay. Easier than I was fearing. This connection is not empty. This... We could actually replace you. It's not northwest, northeast. We can use that to really clean up our syntax a lot. Because we have this fancy, nice, lovely helper that we added as part of the other stuff. Let that format. We might even be able to get this nicer, but for now... Southeast connection. Should display northwest connection and northwest, northeast, southwest, south. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Okay, perfect. Just to be sure nothing's getting held on to, let's go ahead and hot build you again real quick. And we'll make sure that if we delete, let's do the south side up here. That looks pretty good. We'll do the north sides down here. Yes, good. And then you. Perfect. That makes me so much happier. Okay, cool. Let's see. Is there anything else we need to do in here before we go ahead and do commits? We'll probably break this up just a little bit. And I'm glad it wasn't this code that I screwed up, because I worked really hard on trying to keep the direction straight. I say right before, let's see, let me just, I'm paranoid. So if I delete the north, then the south arrow should be up top, right? It's not. Fuck. I just totally just glazed myself, and it's not quite right. Okay. So south works. It was north, right? North is broken slightly, and so is that one. Okay. So we're looking at the southeast and northwest. So if southeast should display and northwest should not, southeast icon, top left icon path. That should be southeast icon. Top left. So either my row isn't getting a height. It should be now. So it should have size even if it doesn't have a child in there. Yeah, something is not correct here. My column, there's my top row. Okay. Top left icon path. Top left icon path. Oh, it's because I didn't switch this over. What a goofy. Right? That would be... Yeah. So, you being the first box... should be that. Except... What was I doing over here? Hang on. So my other tile... that's diagonal, not horizontal. Here we go. File data, right icon path. This should be correct. Oh! I'm dumb. It's because you can't be null if you're in here. That's what I was missing. Northeast icon is going to be top right. Southwest is bottom left. And then southeast bottom right. There we go. Now, we also need to make sure we clearly didn't... Okay, if we delete, we need to update the icons. If we update, we need to update the icons. And on construction, we did on construction, okay. Let's make sure. Get all new data in here. Okay, and then I delete the north, and you should move up. You don't. Totally screwed up. How about you? Well, that's not great, is it? Are you not being set, or... We've got those in there. They can come out of here now. It's crazy not being a glorified browser is a notable selling point, right? Cue my rant about the web running on something as fundamentally flawed as JS, right? Well, it's been a bad week for JS stuff, too. Been a bad spat of vulnerabilities lately for everything, but NPM is getting hammered, too, right now. Although they've been making an oddly weird big deal about the Linux ones. Like, if somebody's executing arbitrary code on your box, like, it's not good that they can escalate to root privileges for by any means, but like, that's not the 12 alarm fire that it's kind of being publicized as. Like, it's a 6 alarm, you know? Okay, so something has gone wrong. They're not getting set, even though should display not null and not empty. That should take care of this switch, I would think. Like, I don't understand. Why you would not have an icon if the connection is there and not empty. When isn't a bad time to be in JS, right? They're making a big deal about Linux because it's unusual. That's true. People like to find reasons not to use it. Also true. That's like, you know, every time there's a Windows vulnerability, all the Linux guys are like, well, Linux fixes this. Well, sure. Kind of. It has its own problems, you know? I think that's just like one of my defining character traits is I hate evangelists. You know? Like, I only say you should switch to Linux as a joke to people. As a Linux user. Long time. Windows hater. So we resolve both of you after we null you. That shouldn't matter though, because these all happen before this. So why would that be? Bottom left, top right. If we reset you, it's only in cases of the top left being missing or supposed to be missing. Oh, no, I'm dumb. Okay. We can't use this to switch on this because we're moving the icon around. That's what's going on. So we have to instead switch to doing if that's not null. And the same being true here. Because we want to just let this guy drive the logic of what should be displaying and where it goes. And the only thing that knows for sure is whether or not these nullable strings have been nulled or not. There. If I resolve my skill issues, then suddenly things work correctly again. Okay, so now if we delete northeast over here, that doesn't move correctly. We'll have to fix that. Southwest over here, also not correct. Southeast is correct. All right. So northeast was correct. My head is spinning with cardinal directions. Southwest, not good. Northeast, southwest. If should display southwest connection, and not should display northeast. Should be you. So top right should be here. Let's give that. There we go. And then we also screwed up northwest, southeast. So in the case where we should be displaying a northeast. Wait, wrong one. There we go. Northeast, but not a southwest. Top, this should be bottom left. So we flip that around. There we go. All right. And then let's bring these back really quick. And we'll just triple verify here that if we delete the south sides here, that gets scoochied in, that gets scoochied in, and then we do the norths down here. Correct. One more last time. Make sure I've got all the, oops, I forgot to save. Make sure I've got all the possible arrangements. Actually, we should also do a cross test real quick. Okay, so we deleted souths here. We'll delete norths here now. And those guys go up there. And then we'll delete souths down here. So it's just all, yes, all pointing inwards towards this room. Okay, good. Perfect. reset this really quick. We should do these fellas here to make sure that they both get set up. So let's delete the, I guess, norths one at a time. Okay, so now you point that way. That's fine, I think. It's a little bit messy icon-wise, but like it was messy before too. It's just there's a lot to show. Okay. And then if we put this back in and delete the souths one at a time. Then you go up that way. You go up that way. If we delete a northeast and a southwest, let's say. Okay, they both go away. If we delete a northwest and a southeast, both go away. If we delete a northeast and a southeast, they're in the right spots. I just don't know if that's clear or not. Kind of. I'm going to leave it. But that might need to change iconography-wise. But yeah. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I am going to go open a window because, or multiple windows, because it's getting hot and stuffy in here. And then I'm going to use the restroom. And then we'll break these up into commits, get them all in place, because that's a ton of work that we need to get stashed away in the safety of Git. And then we will work on, we need to get, wrong button. We need to get the, this other map. We need to let him know. He needs to be able to figure out that this is an intermap connection. So, I'll be right back. There we go. I already feel the breeze starting. It's good. Now then, let's bring some sanity to this. Because we kind of got a bunch of stuff. But actually, this might just be one. For some reason, I was thinking we made changes in here that wouldn't have appeared in other places, and this is true. This doesn't, but I think And these guys can stay there. That's fine. Yeah, I think this actually is fine for one commit, because they're all the same change, essentially. Switch to having the tile models drive the icon appearance, so that we can move the arrows around when we lack a bi-directional connection, and so that we are ready to display a map icon instead of an arrow for cross map connections. Okay, that can go up. That's fine. I'm happy with that. That cross map differentiation here, we need to figure out. So we were thinking that perhaps, and let's tidy this up. We got too many things open again. That's the downside to the tab-centric workflow. I fully accept that fact. So the map state, that's where we were kind of using our unofficial to-do list here. If we ordered you by cardinal first, then we can just take the first cardinal. We need to be careful that we don't have multiple cardinals, but that's not something we support currently. So maybe that's fine. Because we have a list here, and that's totally fine. So we'd have to validate it, which we have the ability to do in forms. The server doesn't technically care. It just doesn't make sense. So, yeah, I think that's probably okay. At least I'm pretty sure the server doesn't technically care. You'd also need to... it's going to be in connection model, not tile base. Because we have set default tag if missing, origin to destination, add tag connection direction. This would need to be that. But to figure out how we tell you that you need to fix that, that's a problem. Add tag, no, cool, add tag, and then we can give it a sort function, but We only want to make sure that the cardinal directions end up at the start. And we should also make sure we sort them here when we parse them out of JSON. So I think that's where we do this, right? Find usages from JSON. Yeah. So it would make sense to do. Does it make sense to use a sort? Because those usually return like -1 and 1, right? To tell you where if it's should be before or after two things. I explained that horribly, but hopefully you understand what I'm trying to get out. But if they're both, then I guess we could just say they're equal. Maybe that is the sane way to go about this. But then we'd need to. I guess we just put it in a function because we're in our connection model. Maybe that is okay. Like we did it in a kind of janky way. Before. Pair will compare if compare is omitted. But if they're not comparable, yeah, negative value, positive value, return 0. Okay, yeah. So if we were to do an int sort tags, let's say, tag A and tag B, right? We can say if values contains tag A, string isn't related to direction, but values should give me, oh, by name. No. I can't do that. I can do compass vectors. But those are vectors, not strings. See, this is the same problem we ran into before. Because I can't do that. I could do like a filter or something silly like that. Or I could say something like, well, I feel like we did this. Did this over here, but we just looped through, I think. Yeah, direction values, because we have to get the name. Oh, we did toString. That's fine too. See, this becomes very, very messy very quickly. And it becomes kind of like not worth it, right? It becomes a mess. Especially if we start to consider trying to make it generic enough that we could replace this with that. Which would be nice. That way, if we wind up with more than a tag in there, or more than one cardinal tag in there, they get sorted by this order that we rely on kind of everywhere just for visual, because it's the UI and things are visual. We could do here, actually, we had a, did we not have a utils? String utils, yeah. Oh, we just made you string utils. Okay. Get next name. There you are, utils. String utils. We can do another file, I guess. Like a tag utils. Might be nice. And how did we lay you out? We just gave you kid next name. Okay. So we could do something like this and then just give you some statics. Do we want to do that? If we try to make a sort function, it'll do the same thing. We'll run into the same problem. We'd have to split the two lists into cardinals and not, and then we could sort cardinals. I don't think we gain anything by just sorting them, though. And if we gotta make a bunch of lists everywhere, then why don't we just pull this logic over? And then we'll run it through the same stuff. Let's call you sort tags. You take a list of string current tags. This is actually going to be... It'll return a list of strings as well. Okay. Oh, except for you. I can't reuse this for this because you are sorting connections, not just tags. We're still going to do this. And we need to have an empty to start with. But actually this gets to be a little bit simpler, which is nice. Because in here, we only care about the direction value. So we need to import you. That's fine. Oh, right, you want to be lower. That's fine. I went all go with it for a second there. So we go through the directions. And then we need to go through the tag list. If the name is equal to tag, let's see here, we're going to run through we're going to end up running through everything again. But because we don't know the order, we could sort it, but then we're sorting twice. If we're going to go to this trouble, though, then we might as well do a sort function, huh? Because we can detect if... Well, we don't have the ability to tell if you're a direction or not. Because values. And I can't look up... String to enum. Oh, there's a values first. Where? What does what do you return in cases of you return an oh, we need to do an or else. Invoking the or else function is returned. Okay. Or if or else is omitted, it defaults as a state error. Okay. Might be something to that. But how would we switch on you if you return either an enum or something else? That's a little bit tricky. Let's see, we need to change up this music. Let's see. Do that. I don't feel like that. Let's do... let's just do this. That'll be fine. Okay. Now, so we can get a first where or else. I mean, we could just try catch it. I'd hate to do that, though. We could add like an invalid to you. And because we use... compass vectors a little differently in Dart. Okay, yeah, they'll add an extra one to that loop, whatever. Unsorted connection, string tag in connection tags. That should be fine. Direction 2. This should be okay, actually. Because it returns enums directly. Tags. That's probably fine. That makes invalid and immutable. I guess we could just say... we can just check it. That would be okay. And then here's our sort that we're working on right now. Where else do you get used? Origin direction 2. That should be fine. The test is relying on the return values. Tag contains direction south to string. Could actually do name here as well. Doesn't really matter. So I think we're okay to do that. That shouldn't be a problem. All right, so then we can go in here. And can I compare? Enum values? Enum classes do not provide operator less than or equal to... Compare by index. Okay, so we could do that. All right. This is looking promising, actually. So a first where... This will be... Can actually do this. First where element greater than 5. What is idea behind or for a game engine? Just enjoying coding. Well, yes, but also to make a game, right? Want to make a mud game. For that, we need a mud engine. So we could go and, use one of the old ones and learn it, or use one of the ones that are in Java if we hated ourselves, or JavaScript if we wanted to end it all, or we could have fun making an engine. And this is I'm working on the editor, which has actually been way more work, right? Which, I mean, it's good because I'm a back-end guy. So making myself do front-end work, full-stack work is good for me for learning. But it just seemed like a fun challenge to build the engine. And if we're going to build that, then we might as well build the game on it, right? Otherwise, it'll be something that isn't informed by, use. We want to dog food it. So I can't do that, I don't think. I think I need... Wait. How would I... I have to go through my current tag. Like so, which is fine. Do that. This dir is equal to this, right? Okay. So we figure out but we don't actually want to do this. We got this sidetracked here. This is an int filter tag. String tag A. We'll set this back up. Tag B, right? Then we don't need to go through this. We need to say this tag A. And then we need to do the same thing. Tag B direction. If I could type, it would help, but as we all know, I cannot. Values first. Where? Same deal. Direction dir. Turn. You'll need that. Dir name equal tag B. Nam. Denam. There we go. Okay, so now we have a determination. Let's get rid of that. We don't need that. We have a determination on whether or not these are both directions. And we can say if tag B direction is invalid, -1, right? A less than B. Well, no, we can't do that. Because we need to know, okay, so if they're both directions, if they're both not directions, actually, like so, this needs to, I need to provide the else here, or else wait, where? Or else, there we are. Return invalid. Cannot do that. I need to put you in there like so. There we go. Same will be true right here. Okay. This should be not equals. Brain fart. Okay, so if they're both not invalid, then we can return the comparable here. Compare by index. No? It would have to be you. Compare by index. That. We can just return that directly. It'll handle it for us. So we know that at least one of them is valid if we're here, or is invalid if we're here. So we can say tag a direction. If you're invalid, that would mean B is greater than A, we return 1. Right? A greater than B returns, no. It's -1. Other way around. If tag B direction is direction invalid, then you're 1. Except for we also need to handle if they're both invalid. Because this is they're both valid. If they both are invalid. So if they're both valid, we compare that. If they're both invalid, we return where's the string? Just the default string compare to where do you live? Oh, duh. You're off of string. Return that directly. Otherwise, one of them is a tag and the other is not, or a cardinal and the other is not. So we should be able to do that, right? Int is a potentially, where would this be? We should have covered all the cases. I guess we can return 0 if nothing else triggers, so they're equal. That might bite us. But because we've pulled you out into a util, we can do a filter test. And make sure that we did this correctly. Put you in a new folder. Actually, no. Oh, you're already... Let's rename this utils, and we'll just put the test for all of you in here until one of you grows big enough that that makes no sense anymore. I guess I should say unless or until. And let's take a look here, just because we'll need to... I'm going to try to remember it, but I'll probably forget some of it. Package, Flutter test. Why IntelliSense is so broken these days. I don't remember if we need a class. I don't think we do. I think we just need a void main. And then, yes. Test. Filter tags. I guess there's like not... We don't need async. I don't think there's a lot of permutations here. Let's just do a list with a bunch of stuff in it. So let's do like east and foo. Let's flip those around because alphabetical order should be the default for a string, I believe. So if we don't put them in order, we should get better testing. Northeast, northwest, southeast. We'll throw in that. So we got east, west, north, south. Let's split these up. Just make it as random as a human can. So we got north, south, east, west, northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest. Okay, so I think we're good there. And then we're going to say expected order. We're going to do this manually so that we can validate. With our human brains, as amazing as they are. So we expect tags to go first, and in the order we've been using. Northeast, east, right? I want to make sure that I've done these correctly. North, northeast, east, yes. Southeast, just going clockwise. Around ye olde compass. Southwest. West. Something that's come up a lot, strangely enough. I never really thought about that, but visually displaying things all in the same order all the time has been a surprisingly wonky challenge. We expect bar, because that's the first in alphabetical order. Baz. Foo should come next, I believe. And then more, and then tags. I think that should be right. Should be all. Okay. And then the filter call, or the sort call rather, should be my unordered list sort tag utils. This might actually go in string utils, come to think about it. What the heck did I call you? Filter tag. This should be sort tag. That's incorrect. Why are you undefined name? Oh, because I did my spacing wrong. All of that went in the wrong place. There we go. That'll sort that out. Let's get you imported. I should be able to just do that. Now we expect unordered list to be equal to expected order. Reason sort not performed as expected. Kind of a silly one to throw in there, but we'll do. Okay. And this, I called you the wrong name here too. Your sort tags, but Now, do we need to... does it set... Zero's bar instead of north? Which... Why would you do that? So I've done something wrong here. It has changed the order. Can I debug this? Let's also double check this. If A is invalid, that means B should be a lower value. So that should be correct. But this looks like it's just been sorted alphabetically. Let's step in. I wanted to debug you, not run you. Stop and rerun. So we get southwest and foo. Tag A is southwest, tag B is foo. So tag A direction is southwest. It's correct. And you're invalid. That case will not happen. This case won't happen. So we should end up with this should be 1. We should go here, we should return perfect. Then we come back in. Southwest and east. East should come first. And then here, east should still come before foo. So -1. North should come first. Let's step into here really quick. I guess I can't. I'm not allowed to. And I can't also get any idea. Let's... North, northeast, east, southeast, south, southwest. So essentially, other than being flipped, that must be... I must have flipped this. Because they're not bubbling to the... They're bubbling to the bottom. They're not bubbling, but they're moving to the bottom instead of the top. That'll make it correct, but why is that? Tag A direction is invalid. Am I mistaken in what the sort wanted? I might just had those flipped to my head. I would like a better... Some sort of function. I'd like a better explanation of the under the hood. Could also probably just read code, huh? Order specified by the compare function. Because to me, -1 should be sooner. But this means B was the winner of that sort. You compare objects as equal even if they're distinct objects. Yeah, you don't. Well, we're going to go with it. I might just be misremembering. But it does indeed sort as we expect it to if we flip those around. I guess if it sorts by default greater to lower, I don't know, I'm confused. We're going to go with it. It works. I'm not going to worry about it too much right now. It's just backwards from what I would expect. But now that we do that, in our connection stuff here, that's still a deal, but add tags, that's fine. Add tag, and then we want to sort. And I'm actually going to move this, yeah. Well, no. They are strings, but we're going to leave it in tag utils. Sort. Oh, because it received, yeah, okay. You can't be null if we're here. Need you to get imported. And it was sort tag, yes. Okay, perfect. The same is true whenever we do this. We want to sort parse before we return it. Okay. See, that was really quick. See if it's important or not. No. No, it is not. We're going to commit this. We're going to add. Oh yeah, that's fine. Just looking at that already staged. Change was the folder rename. We'll add these. Rename utils test folder. Add a tag utils file with tag sort. Testing for tag sorts. Okay. And then, oh, did I miss? I did. Oops. Test. Details. Oh, because tags had a test. Okay, whatever, it's fine. Add test for tag sort. For reals, this command. And then, oh, I forgot my Jeez, I am just squirrel brain today. And then we got our connection model coordinates. What did we change in connection model? We changed U, yes. We got coordinates. We added invalid, yes. That's fine. And then we did tag controller. What did we do in tag controller? We added that. Yes, that makes sense. Okay. So we'll go ahead and commit this. Sort tags when we unmarshal them. There's one L in that. And when we add a tag to a connection, don't reserve the invalid direction as an immutable tag. There, that came up. Okay. Now, here is what I want to do. I want to use the restroom really quick and probably try to turn on a fan if I can get it in a place where the microphone won't pick it up because it's so hot in here. I'm going to open another window too. But I'll be right back. And then, now that we can sort them, we can worry about picking up the first one. And if it's a cross map connection, if it has an ID in the connection data, then we can pick up the first tag and put it in there, I think. So, I'll be right back. There we go. Hopefully that's not... Oop, hang on. Try that again. Turned on the fan. Wasn't plugged in. It'll work better if I plug it in. Alright, hopefully that's not too much background noise. Let me know if it is. Alright, so now we've sorted. We know that the cardinal directions will be at the very start of our list. So in our connection tiles, let's do horizontal first because that's the one we already have us set up to test. In the model here, should display, and now it doesn't know, so it's going to have a connection. Oh, you know what? It's not. If we go to our gym entrance. Okay, yeah, we have a connection. But you didn't get put into here. Because we don't know where to put you just yet. So... let's get this tidied up real quick. I don't need you right now. It's going to be in the... that's actually done. It's going to be map controller. Okay. And this is where we were getting into tag connections in the room update functions. Yeah, because if you're not a cardinal on the same map. You're not empty. We go through here. Set destination table value. Got sidetracked thinking about another thing there. This is an inflate. Add tags if null. So yeah, we still got to figure out how we want to do that. We can't throw an error because this thing is supposed to help you fix that sort of thing. Oh no, add tags if null just adds the string list. Okay, so that's still fine. Perfectly good there. This connection UID is connection. Cool. The rooms is not empty. We go through there. Connection IDs is not empty. Connections add this connection. So we put you in there. Connection table, connection tile ID is this. Connection ID is clear. Connection table values. Connection destination point. Destination table value is this. Does it happen? Where does that get set? I guess it would be on marshalling? No. Because y'all are connection to, it's in tiles. It's in tiles is where it is. Right here, connection tile. Update connection tile with the coordinate at IJ. Banging on stuff across the way. That banner is so annoying. So we switch on adjacent tile. In range. Location plus vector. Inverse vector. Where did we figure out we would have had to go with room data. We do set a tag if missing, but that's with your adjacent is a room data. Same map connection. That's where we do. Right here. Okay. If it's the same map connection, we do that. Set the default tag if missing. So we're safe there. Then we need to update connection con data. Found connections is true. It smells like something's burning. Hang on. I gotta see if that's somebody grilling or if things are bad. Yeah, we're good. Somebody's just having a little cookout for lunch. 99% certain. I had one day my neighbor, they've left since they've moved out, but one day they knocked on the door and they said, "Do you have a fire extinguisher?" I'm like, "Well, yeah. Why? What's up?" And she says, "My oven's on fire. Could you help?" Fortunately, it went out by the time I got there because she turned it off. Stuff had fallen down on the element. But that was an exciting day. Okay, yeah, I was looking at what I needed to look at, huh? So when we do our same map connection, so we were thinking about breaking this up kind of like we did in the server, where we do cross map connections after the fact. But that really only matters for the destinations. The origins can certainly be done at this stage. We just need to correctly handle the case. Same map connection. Else. We need to connections in an error state here. But for things that are correct, update connection takes the data. So our horizontal guy here has an update connection because he is oh no, he doesn't. This connection tile update connection. I need to be in this guy. You take update connection. So if it's not a same map connection, it's not on the same map, but we it's not on the same map, but we know origin is here. If it's a cardinal, if tags at 0 is a cardinal, we can still add it. Connection vector would need to be engaged here, though. So, in our connection vector, if it's the same map, else, so we can do this here. And then we might not even need this else, actually. If tags at 0, well, actually, we can use our new helper. Or not our new helper. Values first where we can do the same. We didn't make a helper for this. Should we? Am I allowed to do that on my enum? Let me check this. Dart override on enum values. I don't think I can do this. Yeah. Can have properties. Methods like any other class. Only getters, that's fine. Cannot override index hash code of the equality operator, that's fine, I don't care about that. Coordinates. Can I override oh, it was where, right? First where? I don't think I can. Yeah. Constructors can't, what? Ooh, you think you're, I could give you a function, though. Right? It won't be an override, but then I could pull over that code I just wrote, actually. I could actually probably just return this directly. Right? First where needs to be closed. There. Okay. And then I could come in here, replace this whole thing. Oops. With this, right? Can't be accessed using static access. This is static, though. Yes. Okay. I could replace this as well. That'll be a lot nicer. And because we have testing around the tag utils, we can actually rerun that and make sure behavior of this hasn't changed. And we're good there. Then we can just immediately consume you here. I can't do this here, though. I can do... get direction. I might want to change that name. But, this would be my origin... Oh, except for I won't even have... No. This is tags at 0. Tags can't be null. Like so. Okay. If resolve direction is not invalid, return it. Oh, except for you expect coordinate. Damn it. And I can't just directly coordinate. I can do a direction 2. I can do it from JSON. Vector 2. Damn it. Update connection, takes a con data. There's no reason I have to do a coordinate here, though. What if I did... But then I have the same problem in the other direction for this guy. These are just consts. I don't have a way... I mean, I could do a function. Because we already have a direction 2 and a vector 2. We could do a direction from vector. And I can switch on dir. I thought I could. Does this just need parens? Yes, okay. So if it's north, I return north. Except for I don't want a direction here, sorry. This is backwards. Vector from direction. Vector. And I would need to do that, I think. And I don't have... I would need in here an invalid coordinate. Constant. Let's make it really unlikely to be. Even more unlikely to be. Just because. I don't think we'll have 100 by 100 maps, but we don't know what the size is gonna be. Oh, vector isn't a type either. There, now you're a thing. Except that won't be able to go into here. Ugh. Except vector 2 can still return a vector 2. Or you could return a vector. I don't think it should matter. We just need to... Like, they're all going to be the same thing. I think it'll still work. Anyway. Vector from direction. Return invalid for default. Case... This sucks, but... east... Southeast... South... west... So we can fire up that, like so. I guess that is a place where coordinates is likely to come in handy. And then you become... this. Except... Can't be accessed using static access. This is static, though. That's fine. And because you're static... Let's put statics up here. Kind of fit the pattern. Like so... and then connection vector is equal to vector times -1. This, because you return either way now. But what's the else case here? If the tag is a direction, send that vector back. Tag is not a direction. We need to know what... Actually, I could just do... I don't need to throw this. I could return my invalid vector and let the consumer care about what that means to them. Right? So if it's on the same map, it's easy. Otherwise, we try to pull it out of the tag. We don't have a vector. Must be a tagged connection. And we still need to figure out how to handle those. But that's another stretch beyond this one. Hello, Mr. Mongoose. How are you today? Making progress? Hey, Mr. Cresho. I am. We got our... little diagonally fellas all squared away. I'm on the wrong map. Here we go. So if we delete the south guy there, he gets his little arrow moved. And the same is true of the north guys and all that good stuff. We don't explode on the presence of these guys, and we're just got to get this guy to now put in his connection correctly. That's where we're at today. Okay, so then here we can get rid of this. So room, update our connection with our data, we find the adjacent room. But connection tile. Then yes, this all just works. Because we're working with the tile itself. Nothing better than getting diagonal things squared away. I guess it is kind of a funny statement, huh? I think we're okay in all cases that exist currently if we do this. Let's rebuild to make sure we get all the new hotness. That's not main. That's a test. It's good that it passes still, though. Everything exploded. Invalid vector coordinate for determining direction. Okay, so something has gone awry. That would be... a problem. And it's coming from here. Update connection. Horizontal connection vector. Invalid connection vector. You should be correct, though. Let's debug. It's because turning direction 0, 0. That's not even here or correct. We have broken a surprising thing. Valid vector coordinate for determining direction 0, 0. You come from here. Here. Direction 2, coordinate target. Which comes from you. Default tag of missing. Because that's what I overlooked. It was in here, right here. So it was missing a tag? That should not be. What would be missing a tag and why would it be 0? Questions. Map controller. Update connection tile. At 0, 0. Right here. You should have a tag though. Gym entrance east. Add tags if no. Oh, because this gets called regardless. Okay. If length of tags is less than 1. This is Go syntax, not Dart. We could do do it this way, I'd be okay with that, I suppose. Tags can't be null. We just made sure. Put that in the wrong place. Oh yeah, we could use his empty, huh? Let's rerun that and see if we have better success here. Entrance. Okay, perfect. There we go. That was my trubs. And then add tag was preventing us from our mistake. It didn't double add things, but this should only happen if it's missing them. And I guess we could say right here, we're in our connection model. If same map connection, we can do this. Can do that, I suppose. Then you can be this, that. If it's not on there, this will go away. We're on same map. Just get our correction to and set it. If we're not on the same map and missing tags, we don't know where this connection should be. Add it with a tag that says we need to be fixed. So then new tag can equal tag not provided in config file. So that'll be like super wrong, right? But it's something that we can put on there. That'll tell us that things are awry. And then in the UI, maybe we can enforce. We'll have to look at that a little bit. But that at least gets us able to display this, which is lovely. And then we say 200 in the gym. My tag is east. And I've got my little icon. I love that. Okay. So you are an empty beverage. How sad. You get called. That's all happy. Let's commit this. Why are you? Save chord. It's very common. Oop, I didn't do all of it. Very common for me, abbreviation for coordinate. Save chord to dictionary. Project level. Sure. Okay. What do we got? What do we got? We got connection model, coordinates, map control, yeah, state provider, tag utils. So let's actually, I should have broken this up, but you know, utils. And also this goes with interlib. Screens, map editor, map coordinates. Put the or add a helper function to the direction enum to resolve a string into a direction. Consume that in our tag utils for brevity. Then we also have the other thing. That's fine. I should have broken it up better, but I didn't. The other things are work with or make vector2 helper, right? That's what you are. That's what your name be. Connection vector. That's what your name be. My I resized it and things got funky. Reminds me, I needed to fix that. I keep forgetting to. Make the connection vector helper smarter. On a same map, turn the vector2 result on a cross map. Attempt to use the first tag as a direction. If it's an invalid direction, return invalid vector instead of errors. Adjust update connection tile to account for this new behavior. No longer omit connections aren't same map. If it's a cardinal, put the dang thing in place. Okay, that can go up. Now, we do need to account for destination display. We need to make our room tile capable of doing this first. We need to display things. And actually, maybe we can use our invalid destination or invalid direction to help us there to display things that need to be addressed. First and foremost, we have to make the UI work correctly, because right now, this doesn't have the ability to display anything extra. I'm thinking of putting them either up top or down below, and I'm not sure which. But to do that, let's tidy up here really quick and close this stuff down. So we're going to kind of launch into a next task here. Oh, we need to fix that too. We need to do that. Tomorrow I got my compiler design exam, man, and I don't know shit. It's such a weird subject. Well, why don't you know shit? Presumably there was an entire class on compiler design, right? You should have resources and materials, I would hope. Okay, so that's, yeah, and then, yeah, okay, that's fine. That's all still to do. Room tile. Room tile is where we need to be. It's a complex subject, that's true. Yeah, I imagine. I've only gone as far as interpreters. All the further I got, because despite the fact that, like, languages seem to be having a moment again, where I'm seeing a bunch of people trying to write languages now, all of a sudden, and maybe that's just my, like, sphere of awareness, but, like, it's becoming a thing again. I have no desire to write a new language. I don't need that hassle. That's a full-time project. That took, like, Jonathan Blow, like, 10 years, right? Or maybe longer. I don't even know exactly how long. He's been working on Jai for a long time. Jai looks pretty cool. But, like, I don't need to make Mongoose Lang. I don't. I don't want to. Um, room tiles. That's where I was. I want to make this like 3 rows in a coat, as you do. Probably. And that we have future stuff. There were, but my teacher never taught anything after regular expressions and automata and all that. Gotcha. Well, that's unfortunate. Hopefully the exam only covers those things. Okay. Room, tile, you, this widget. What did we do to lay you out? A container with a box decoration, with a border, and just a center widget in you. Okay, that's fine. Let's put you in a column. Like so. And then we need to also say main axis size max to make you consume the full box that you have available to you. And then we also need this center can go away, I think, because you're just a nullable widget. We're gonna put a row in here like so, and then a row down here, and that, oh, except for you need to be I need to make you fill the space, so I can do expanded, I think, because I'm inside of a column, so it's all a flex, like so. And I know I got chat messages. 1 second. Okay, and then you main axis alignment center you, so that they all get put where they belong again. Okay. Let's see here. Developing language is a very big project, not so much with the language. It's more standard library and interoperability with existing libs. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, I guess. I imagine that, like, once you nail all the syntax tree and all that stuff and getting it compiling, it's probably just grunt work, right? Still sounds like a ton of work. What's my word per minute? I have no idea. Regexes and FSA are the main things you need to build a compiler. Do you need regexes or do you need, like, parsing? I would be... Like, my understanding, and I am not by no means a parser and Elixir expert, but my understanding is that that would be the tool to use, not a regex. Right? Like, to the point where a parser and Elixir are more the appropriate tools for a lot of places where regexes do get used, almost. Like, other way around in the world, right? Okay, but now, okay, we need in here... Regex is a form of FSA. I guess I'm not actually sure what FSA means in this case either. So is a parser. Okay. Finite state atomic. Ah, okay. I don't really know what that all entails. Sounds like a fancy name for state machines, but I could be ignorant in that assumption. 100% possible. As longtime viewers will know, Mongoose in the academic computer science world don't super get along. Okay, so we have to think about, and I guess we don't actually have to think about. We are allowed to take these things as arguments. We're already stateful. We get a tile data. So we have to decide if we want to put them in other stuff. Yeah, it's a state machine, but comes with some rules. Okay. See, we're getting places. These are literally the things coming in my exam tomorrow. If only you had a pocket Crescio. Because it sounds like he's got all the answers. I suspect that there are at least 3 gray hairs in Crescio's beard. I just liked this topic when I was at uni. Gotcha. Some people are just Rob Pikes, and they really like lexers and parsers. There are more than 3, that's for sure. Okay, so we could put... See, then we get back to our problems with connections being split. I mean, I guess it's not a problem anymore. It was a problem before because we didn't have a way to account for the difference between a cardinal and a tagged connection. We would need in our controller, which I have closed, we update connection tiles, but we don't really have a place to put these other things. And when we do this, we just add the connection. So I guess we could. Because you're a connection data, we have access to some stuff. Actually, we do want that open still. Hello? There we go. I guess not. Anyway. I like it too, but man, teachers don't teach it in a way that we relate the academic stuff to actual systems, so it becomes dull. Yes, that's exactly why, well, one of the main reasons why I don't get along with academic computer science very well. I have the same problem. I need to see like the way it's applied and come to my own understanding of it before anything they say becomes digestible or relatable or connectable in my brain. Which is why I'm a self-taught guy and not somebody who did a lot of schooling in programming. The last programming class I had was actually in high school. There was no programming in my university degree. It was only a 2-year degree, but still, I was shocked. They wanted me to go do networking things, which is great. I learned the most important thing about networking, which is that I don't want to fucking network every day. That was the main thing I learned. There's probably some subnetting stuff rattling around up there still too, but main lesson, I don't want to do that for a job. To me, it was fascinating how a regex gets compiled to an FSA, and how a solution was basically very simple. Gotcha. I've never dug into the guts of regex. Same problem when I was at uni. It becomes very dull, too much information. Yeah. Same here. I have to see how it's applied before understanding properly. Yeah. Yeah, I really struggle. And I'm sure that there's huge gaps in what I am doing and aware of as a result of that. For sure. But I just can't. You want to see a spaz? Put me in front of a dry academic computer science paper on fucking monads. Networking is so cool, man. Man, I do not enjoy messing with networks. But I'm glad that you do. I like it a lot more than this stuff, to be honest. Well, good. The world needs good network admins. Because I enjoy using networks. I enjoy being able to internet. I love network admins. I just don't want to be one. All right. I was trying to figure out what I want to do with these room connections because of our struggles. We do be on the struggle bus. But, okay, yeah, that's what I was looking at. I know if I'm on the same map or not, but that's not a good determinator. Connection vector. I can use connection vector here. So, okay, room data. Tile data connections add, right? So we can go back to this idea that we just weren't ready for. When did you graduate, by the way? Oh boy. He's either going to decline to answer that, or you're about to feel like a fetus. I'll probably feel better about my graduation date if he does decide to answer. Never. Oh, well, there you go. So, I went to... I guess it would have technically been a community college, but it was a division of the main college in the state that I grew up in. I could only suffer through 2 years. I got the associate's degree. And I was just done. I had to take algebra again because I'd forgotten all of my algebra. I had no recollection of most of that. And I've forgotten it all again since, because there's no fucking use for most of it, right? Now I find myself, working with 2-dimensional grids and doing vectors and things, and I'm a little salty, but also in school, they taught you how to be a calculator, not how to understand math. So I had the same problem with mathematics, right? So I never went further than algebra, just because it became nonsense. I had no idea, no relation to real life that I cared about, So I did my 2 years, and I had to take the basic office class. It was a mess. It was just a mess. but they also graded on a curve. So like for my networking security class, like the final project that was like 50% of your grade, um, or whatever, absurd thing. I did the math because I could do basic math. I did the math about my grades, and I went to the teacher and I said, so according to my math, if I get a 0% on this project that you've been hyping up all class period, um, I'll still walk out of here with a B. Is that right? And he goes, there's no way. And then he does math, and he stops and he looks up at me and says, you got to give me something. So for that class, I put labels on the pretend networking devices and my name on the paper. I walked out of the class with an A because everybody failed it so hard. Like it was a joke, an absolute joke. And I was like, I got to get out of here. I got to get to work and do something real because this academic circle jerk is not for me. I was just born around that time. Oh, me becoming ancient in real time. The culture was so bad by then, I felt sick just by going classes. Yeah. Yeah. No bad, it's life. Yeah, it's true. It's true. And I don't remember. There was another. So there was like the regular networking classes, and then there was a network security class, which was actually taught by um, a guy who worked in the industry in specifically making their educational materials, which was kind of cool because he was from the area. Um, so he had come back to just teach this class. Why not? Uh, so he was a cool teacher, but like it was bad. Anyway, the normal networky class was taught by the guy who ran the department, who was a schmuck, and it also had a big gnarly project, practical hands-on final, whatever you want to call it. That was some huge absurd chunk of your grade. And you had to like write down what you did as you did it and then turn in your configs at the end of it. I don't remember what exactly it was, but there was something that was horrible and it wasn't right, and fixing it was a pain in the ass. So I just said, you could fix it like this, and I'm not going to because I don't care. I'm going to hack it around this way and just do that so it'll work for the lab. That was the effort level I put into the test. Also walked away with an A in that class. It was absurd. I think the only classes I ever didn't get an A in were a business class because they made all of the assignments available. So I did the whole semester in a weekend. I just flipped through the book, skimmed the thing, answered the questions, done. But then they had tests that were available only during the correct time. Missed one of those, cost me the grade, whatever, don't care. And the project management class, where they split the class into two teams. One team did their project and they were like working with the library, and they bothered the library people like every day, all day for the entire semester. And our team that made a fake project, and at the end the feedback on it was like a C on the project. The feedback was like, I didn't feel like you guys talked to anybody about this and you just did the coursework. And okay, well, yes, fair, that's exactly what we did. Those people have a job to do. I'm not going to go bother them for my fucking pretend class. And B, our output was vetted by the one guy's boss, who said, actually, we just went through this process, and I wish that what I had been given from the people doing this project was as clear as what you gave me. But the academic asshole said this is a C. Whatever, fuck you. You just described my own experience. Yeah, dude. Education is in a bad place. Well, it was. I'm sure it's worse now, just because that everything's worse now, right? It was just a joke. But yeah. You. I was trying to figure out what I want to do with you. Oh, we were gonna put you in. Okay, yeah. This is my tile. I need to go into my model. That's what I need to do. So connections, you can still be cardinal connections. So we now know how to put you in there better. Sure. Just do all that. Oh, tag utils. That might have been a mistake. Might have been a big mistake. Wait, why would you? Yes. Cardinal connections, yes. Might really get smarter here with this sort too. But anyway. And then you selected cardinal connections, unsorted add. Yeah. That's where you just were. What am I missing? Why did it think the tag utils was reading that? I'm very confused. Direction, get direction. Cardinal connections. Yeah, I think we're okay. If not, something will be horribly broken, and we'll figure it out. So, okay, we need to also, if we do this, because we unmarshal from IDs, we're safe there. But we also need to handle putting this. I got to study whole night now, sayonara. Good luck. Try to get as much sleep as you can. That's more valuable than cramming, I think. But I'm sure you got this. Tagged connections, let's just say. Good luck, you're gonna need it. So this. We need to combine you to marshal you out. And I guess we do a 2 list there. And then I can do tag connections, map you. Oop. Same deal. Connection data. Con. The UUID, which can't be null. 2-string. I forgot my parens here. 2-string on you to list here. Oh, you need to be, we need to do this. Let's make that plural. Tag connections can't be null. Well, hang on. String to list, that goes away. There we go. Why are you... Tag connections can't be referenced before it's declared, except... Oh, duh. Let's do this. Cardinal and tag. Here we go. And then... to list. What am I... What am I missing here? I'm missing this. That's what I'm missing. There we go. And then you... I think it's backwards in Dart. You need to expand this side. That. And I don't need list here. I think I can get away with not having that check. I think that'll be okay. And then that, this, we do need you. There we go. If this is empty, then I make you. So if I've already got a close there. That's what I've done wrong. Okay, there we are. Now you go in there, and in my loopy loop here, in the controller right here, if tile data, or rather if this connection if the connection vector if it's not invalid, then we do this. Otherwise, get there. So if we have a valid vector, it's a cardinal connection, add it. Otherwise, it's tagged, add it there. Tile data, tag connections, add this connection. Okay. So none of that should change anything we've got going on here. Let's see here. Interesting story about your experience. Same here. Big difference with real world and academic. Yeah. What I hate in programming classes, it's that they just teach algorithms and data structures. They don't teach you how to organize your code, how to split up in functions modules. Yeah. How to separate concerns. Yes. That. Very true. From what little... Actually, that's not true in my experience. From what I was taught, we were taught that the basics of that very early on, actually. But we had the good fortune to have a teacher who had been a programmer in the early days of programming as a job. And for whatever reason, he decided to go be a teacher after that. He loved teaching. It was so that was cool. But we got, as early as doing basic, we were being told that you need to I forget what they were called. Whatever basics functions were, like there was like a tag thing. I think I don't remember. It's gone now, but we were being told to do that, to break it up, to make it more readable and organizable. I don't remember if they really covered separation of concerns in that sort of context, in that direct way, but that's effectively what we were being taught at a basic level. But yeah. So we've got that, and now we should have tag connections as a thing available to us. But that does take us to the 4-hour point. So, Ghost Up, thank you. Yes, that one. Subroutines. That's what they were called. Okay. Yes, we were thinking about this. So we need to still do basically this stuff. Subroutines and basically. Yes. Yes, indeed. And then we did Java after that, like the first half of the first semester. No, first quarter. There we go. First quarter was basic and the second quarter was Java. And we did like a lot of the same sort of things there with regards to that. Like it was kind of drilled into us that you should be splitting things up into functions to do, individual pieces. And that's actually where I found, or I formed my very basic like mental model. Like when I imagine code, it's always like everything's a little box full of gears that does stuff, right? So that's where I started to sort of form that mental model of what code looked like in my head. Just because of the way they taught that. I guess something progressed from my time. I think it's just the fact that he worked in the industry, right? He actually had an idea of what the hell he was talking about. He was the exception to the rule of, those who can do, those who can't teach, is the old saw, which is, kind of a terrible, disrespectful thing to say to teachers, but it's true in a lot of cases. I've worked with teachers. A lot of them are deeply stupid. And some are great. You get all types, as with all careers. But I had the good fortune to have a teacher who had done and then decided to teach. We just crammed everything in one function. Yeah. Okay. I think we're good to go here with this for right meow. Just connected black boxes. Yeah, that's kind of how. And like you can look inside of that little box, you can open that function and mess around in there if you need to, but like, and I suspect that a lot of people have a similar mental model, but it's hard to say because sometimes people talk about code in weird ways, but that's just me. Um, Yeah. I think I'm going to call it here for today because we've got this part. And we just need to add some testing things and whatnot. But it has been 4 hours. Thanks for streaming, chat. Thank you for the stream and the chat, Mr. Crescio. It's always good to see you. Thanks to all of you who are returning viewers. It was good to see you again. And to all the new people, welcome. It was good to meet you. I do this thing for roughly 4 hours a day, 4 days a week, starting today, ending Monday. So if you like this kind of nonsense, come on back tomorrow at around 10 a.m. Central Time. I should be here doing more of it, and I'd love to see you again. If not, you have yourselves a great weekend anyway. I'll catch you some other time on down the road. Thanks again, everybody. Bye.